So you read the caption, right? Yes, I was rejected from 10 different schools, but that's okay because I ended up in one of the best schools in the country, Johns Hopkins University. So I'm going to give you some tips and a little bit of my story, how I went from rejected to waitlisted to accepted. Keep watching and I'll give you those tips. So first off, I graduated from a 4-year university with my BS in health science. And I was like, after graduation, I know I was going to be okay. Wrong. I applied to so many different jobs, careers. Nobody returned my call, or they either said, oh, you need more experience. Classic, right? So I moved back home with my parents. I eventually got a small part-time job just to get some income. And from there, I was just thinking, like, what should I do in order to make myself a more marketable candidate for nursing school? Nursing has always been my passion. So when the applications open, I just applied to 5 different schools, only in California where I'm from. Because I was like, I don't want to leave my hometown. Like, what do I look like leaving California with the beaches and the weather? Like, what do I look like? But God had other plans. So as I applied for those 5 different schools in my hometown, they all rejected me. Was I hurt? Yes. Did I give up? No. But during that time, I was really depressed. I didn't understand why I got rejected when I have all this volunteer experience, internship experience, and extracurricular activities. During that time that I was like, trying to figure it out and waiting for schools to get back to me, I just was like, I need to work on my character. I need to be in the position to receive the blessing because I was bitter. I was sad, but I had to reframe my mind. And how I did that was discipline and self-reflection. I started going to the gym early morning, eating correctly, reading my Bible, practicing my faith, cutting toxic people off. And one of the books that really changed my life, and I recommend that you go purchase it, is Outwitting the Devil. That changed my whole circumstance. Like, that helped me think about failure in a whole different way, because temporary defeat doesn't mean failure. Delayed does not mean denied, okay? So let me read you a quote from Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil. He says, remember when your plans fail, that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Failure is only permanent when you accept it. Okay, let me say it again. Failure is only a mindset. That's a mindset. And if you accept that fate, it will come true. Try redirecting the way you think about failure, because sometimes what you learn in that failure or temporary defeat, that's what's going to be used to build you back up, okay? So when you feeling down or you feeling like things are not going your way, redirect, self-reflect, and keep it moving. Nursing has always been my passion. So when the applications open, I just applied to 5 different schools, only in California where I'm from. Because I was like, I don't want to leave my hometown. Like, what do I look like leaving California with the beaches and the weather? Like, what do I look like? But God had other plans. So as I applied for those 5 different schools in my hometown, they all rejected me. Was I hurt? Yes. Did I give up? No. But during that time, I was really depressed. I didn't understand why I got rejected when I have all this volunteer experience, internship experience, and extracurricular activities. And it just so happened that one of my friends was a medical assistant and phlebotomist at UCLA. And I was just like, okay. So she ended up actually posting an opportunity for the UCLA health program. And basically you could get certified as a medical assistant phlebotomist and you get a job after the program. And I'm like, might as well. I need some money. And then also I need to look like a better candidate for these schools. So I went through the program. It was fully paid for because I got a scholarship. Yay me. But this boosted up my application so much because I was a float medical assistant phlebotomist. So I floated to different departments. I was able to go to pulmonology, oncology, gynecology, and all these different departments made me a more flexible and adaptable, marketable candidate for nursing schools. So of course the application is open again. I was like, I'm going to apply to some of the same schools, but I also applied another in California. I'm from Southern California, and I'm gonna apply to this one school out of state. Okay, so follow me. I got denied to every school again in California, and I got waitlisted for Johns Hopkins. So when I tell you I was praying, I was just having that faith, envisioning myself on the East Coast. That's when I was like, no, something has to happen. I have to get off this wait list. I have to get into this program. This is my one and only shot. So faith mixed with prayer, mixed with me, I'm doing research on like who's in charge of this program. I wrote a very compelling letter of interest, and I just basically told them like what I was working on during the time I was waiting. And I found the director of admissions. I found her email and I sent her the letter, letting her know that I am persistent, I am confident, I am willing to do whatever it takes to get into this program. And that's exactly what I did. During the waiting period, I was like, okay, let's see if she got the letter at least. So I called the admissions office about like maybe 4 days later, and I was like, hey, did so-and-so receive my continued letter of interest? So she was like, oh yeah, she received it, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, like what did she say? Because I need to know. But anyways, I was just being patient, just praying. And eventually I got accepted. But mind you, I was just crying about a school that rejected me. The same day the school rejected me, Johns Hopkins called like 20 minutes later. And I was like, God, thank you. Because when you have faith, when you have the power to continue on, even when you're facing adversity or rejection, that is what's going to get you to your breakthrough. That faith in God is going to get you further than you think. During this time, I did a lot of self-reflecting and character development. And that was another thing. I was willing to be a better person, and I feel like that helped me a lot. So I'm gonna give you some tips on how to navigate rejection and how to make yourself look like a more marketable candidate to any school you want to go to. First things first, what's your purpose? What's your goal? Why do you want to go to this school? What are you doing to get into this school? Your purpose is everything. Your purpose have to be aligned with who you are and your values, your morals. They want to know all of that. So you need to make sure that you're putting that into your personal statement and your statement of purpose, because they will look at that and they will take that into consideration when you're applying. So that's very important. Purpose is important. Don't just do things for the money. Don't just do things because you see everybody else doing it. Do it because you know that this is your passion and you want to do it. 2, I strongly advise you to research these schools. Don't just apply to this school without knowing what they are looking for in a candidate. You can also call the admissions officers and like the admissions office and just inquire about the school and just get to know what they need as a candidate, and 2, what you need from the school, because they have certain requirements that you have to complete, and you have to make sure they're completed by the time of admission most of the time. And I say most of the time because I didn't even have 2 of my prereqs done, and they just was like, complete it, come out here. So that was by the grace of God, because I was really gonna cry because I didn't have 2 of my prereqs. But anyways, you want to research these schools because you want to make sure that you know what it costs, where it's located, how much you need to have by the time of admission, because sometimes you have to pay a deposit, like a $500 deposit depending on what school, to actually get in the school. So yeah, with all that being said, make sure you do your research and ask a lot of questions. Go to the info sessions, because I know a lot of them, they have info sessions and virtual sessions that you can attend just to see what the school is about and the curriculum. I know this may seem cliche, but be yourself. Interviewers know when you're not being yourself or you're trying to be somebody else, that they can just so they can accept you. And I'm going to tell you, that's a bad idea. You're unique. They need uniqueness. They need diversity. Be yourself. Showcase who you are as a person. Be confident. And I know that's easy for me to say, whatever the case may be. Practice your interviews before you even go on an interview. Make sure you have why you want to be a nurse or why you want to go to the school. What interested you into picking this school specifically? What have you done before entering this school? So these are some of the questions they're going to ask, and it's mostly about you, okay, and why you want to go to that specific school. So I would advise you to do a mock interview with like one of your trusted professors, your friends, one of your family members, and ask them to give you honest feedback on what you should change and what you should do and say in an interview. Next tip, have faith. Faith is very important because even during this rejection season and when I got rejected and all that, I still had faith that I was going to get in somewhere. And that's what turned my whole situation around. God is going to test you. And during these tests, you have to remain faithful and trust that he's going to deliver you. Hebrews 11 verse 1 is one of my favorite Bible verses because this is what got me through a lot of hard times. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is really important because God can make a way out of no way. When you don't think it's impossible, he's going to make it possible for you, as long as you have that faith, even in times of adversity. Last tip. So I really truly believe that when you are facing rejection, and this goes for any concept in life, make sure that you redirect. When I was getting rejected left and right, my thing was, it was like, maybe I need more experience. Let me go seek out the opportunities that they have for people who are interested in nursing. For me, for example, seek out internships, talk to people, network, like volunteer, look for internships. Stuff like that is going to make you a more marketable candidate, and you never know who you might end up talking to that could lead you in the right direction. That's why networking is so important. And reapply. Don't be sad. Be sad. Feel your feelings, okay? I'm not going to tell you not to feel your feelings, okay? Because it's normal. I was sad as hell. But I'm telling you, don't stay in that sadness. Don't stay in a place that's like, man, forget it. I ain't get in. Like, let me just give up. No. You are closer to the goal than you think. And God has a plan specifically for you. Like, if I didn't reapply, I would not be here right now. So I'm telling you, have faith, reapply, redirect. So thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, drop it in the comments or connect with me via social media. But thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.